Rob Reiner tells a story about when he went into this restaurant where the mob leader John Gotti would hang out, and he wanted to go to this restaurant just to check it out. And this one gangster guy comes up to Rob Reiner, looks him straight in the eye, and says, "You killed my father. Prepare to die." Right? And Rob Reiner at the time thought he was like dead serious and was like terrified for his life. And then later he realized like that's just the cultural impact this movie has had on people, right? To have that quoted to him by a mobster.
Probably a Sicilian.
Likely. Welcome to Seeing This, the movie podcast where we celebrate the latest movie reviews and celebrate our favorite movie anniversaries and compete in competitive movie drafts. Today, we have a very special movie anniversary to celebrate. It is Aries season, which means Adrian's birthday is on. Is it not Aries? Are you not Aries?
He's a Taurus.
Oh, fuck. Taurus. It's Taurus season, which means...
Well, no, it
Not
is
yet.
Aries season, but his birthday is coming up.
So I was right. It's Aries season, which means Adrian's birthday is on the horizon.
I know, but I don't like that
Don't
because
know
we're
that.
doing a birthday draft and he's a Taurus.
Well, it's not a draft, folks. As you can see,
Our anniversary.
as you can see, folks, we're ready for this one. We have the 39th anniversary of Adrian Cedeno, the Gerber Babyface Assassin, coming up here this month. So we decided to allow him to pick a movie, and he has chosen...
The Princess Bride from 1987.
Love it. Very excited for this movie. I honestly can't wait to talk about it. Also on the podcast, the Feisty Pisces, Erica McMullen. How are we doing?
Good.
I'm Mike Ornelas, and as Adrian mentioned, we are doing the 39th anniversary of The Princess Bride. Adrian, if you can tell us, what is The Princess Bride about?
All right. Directed by Rob Reiner. Heroes, giants, villains, wizards, true love. In this enchantingly cracked fairy tale, the beautiful Princess Buttercup and the dashing Wesley must overcome staggering odds to find happiness amid six-fingered swordsmen, murderous princes, Sicilians, and rodents of unusual size. But even death can't stop these true lovebirds from triumphing.
I love it. What a great in-depth description that has everything in this movie and not even enough. Directed by Rob Reiner, as you mentioned there. Rest in peace to Rob. Written by William Goldman, who also wrote the novel of The Princess Bride. He also has done some big films like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, All the President's Men, Marathon Man, Misery, speaking of which, The Ghost in the Darkness. And what's interesting about William Goldman is he is incredibly critical of his own writing. He doesn't like any of his writing except for this one and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So I was very, very fortunate to watch my Criterion Collection version. So I listened to the commentary. So I'll be bringing up a few things that I learned from that cast. Some people that we've grown up with. Carrie Ells, Robin Wright, who for the longest time, probably not until House of Cards came out, maybe, did I realize that that's Jenny from Forrest Gump,
And
which is like incredible. This was one of her first films. She was only 20 years old when she made The Princess Bride. Mandy Patinkin, who does an incredible job as Inigo Montoya, and so many other people that we'll get into. The Princess Bride, 0 Oscars, but it did have 1 nomination. 4.
Costume.
No, I thought the costumes were pretty
I
on
would
point.
have,
It should have been,
Mike, I would have maybe
for
thought
sure.
about that.
The one nomination was for Best Song, and the song was Storybook Love. So this doesn't come up until the end credits. Performed and written by Willie DeVille. Interestingly enough, some fun facts I got in listening to the commentary. He performed this at the Oscars the year he was nominated, and during his performance, he forgot the lyrics to the So that's a tough beat. Didn't end up winning the Oscar for that one.
It's like my worst nightmare.
You imagine, like you're on stage and just completely forget the
No.
words. I mean, I do that all the time singing, but performing is a bit different. with that being said, we'll jump right into our first category, the Will
I got a
Smith.
quick question
Oh,
before we
please,
jump into
please,
categories.
please.
Who's your favorite character in this story?
Erica, you take that one first. There's so many incredible characters here. I
Yeah.
mean, arguably the perfect cast, like perfect casting in this movie as well. But we'll get into that.
Yeah, it's tough because, like, some of the lines that Princess Buttercup says, I'm just like, "Oh, fuck," like, that's just, like, you're killing it, right? But then you have Inoue Montego come in, he's like, "You killed my," and it's just like, probably between those 2, I'd have to
Buttercup and
decide. Those
Inigo.
2 are probably my favorites, yeah. Just, like,
Okay.
their character overall, the arc, and then, like, the lines for sure. They had my favorite lines, I think.
I think.
Although sorry,
Uh-huh.
my favorite line obviously comes from the Sicilian because I feel like that's actually, like, a real thing for Sicilians, so
Vicini.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think Vicini is probably like the most memorable with
He's
like
so fun.
inconceivable and
Yeah.
as far as him bullying the Fezzik, I think his name is, and Inigo around. But I gotta give love to Andre the Giant. Like,
Yeah.
again, listening to the commentary and everything, everyone loved him. And, he had a bad back at this point. So they had to use like a crane for a lot of like the physical stuff of carrying Buttercup or whatever the case is. But I really enjoy him, how like his whole bit is he just rhymes, especially at the beginning. It's so
Yeah.
random. It's so random. Adrian, your favorite?
Inigo.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he steals the movie.
He
He
really
like really
does.
steals the movie. So we'll get into his character a bit more as we proceed. First category: the Will Smith of the Oscars. Does this still slap? What do we think?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like, I don't think you really this is, like, one of those things, and we'll get into it in another category, but it's like, you get everything you want in this movie. Like, you get really goofy action, you get absolutely it's a potent quotable, like,
Mm-hmm.
this is a movie you can quote no matter where you're at in the movie, there's gonna be something that resonates with you. Um, yeah, all of the characters you fall in love with, like, it's just, like, one of those well-rounded movies where no matter who's watching it, they're gonna have a good time.
100%. Adrian, you said you rewatched this with the family. How were they engaged as across different generations? What was that like?
So I put it on while we were like around the table, kind of eating and cleaning, kind of doing stuff. And my 8-year-old daughter, Liha, was definitely like checking it out, watching like what like she was even making faces like, what is going on here? Like not understanding. And so I'm explaining, the story to her. And Anthony, who we all know from the podcast.
Uh,
He's 19, and he was like definitely like, "Oh, I feel the Robin Hood Men in Tights energy here. Like this
sure.
is," and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, this is what started it." Um, and then, but for the most part, we were all kind of just engaged in watching it. Like
Yeah.
as we're at the table, we're all glued to the screen. So I think it still slaps for them. Maybe they didn't get it like necessarily how I got it when I watched it way too young.
Yeah.
Um, but it definitely still slaps.
The
Yeah.
funny thing is, like, you put this on in the background to, like, clean and stuff, but it's one of those where you're, like, standing with the vacuum, like, in your hand, like, watching the
Yeah,
TV because you completely forgot about your chores because you wanna watch.
And
yeah,
specifically in
absolutely.
this one, like you've got to hear that line delivery. And there's so many like
Yeah.
great line deliveries throughout
Mhm.
this movie. I think it's incredibly timeless. Like there are 80s elements specifically around like maybe the fairy tale or like fantasy around all of it, specifically in the fire swamp, right? It does have 80s elements, but the story, the mix of genres feels so timeless that even though this came out 39 years ago, you can watch it today and it's still engaging and
Yeah.
entertaining. Definitely still slaps.
Yeah.
Next category: The Gladiator 2 unnecessary. And for this movie, we bold and
Yeah, let's
underline unnecessary.
emphasize.
Unnecessary sequel. What happens in the sequel? Did you guys have any ideas for this one?
Yeah, no, do not touch this movie. Don't make a remake, don't make a sequel. don't do anything to it. You don't need it. You have a perfect film. Like we don't need anybody else's story. Like everybody was perfectly wrapped up in the end. Um I think if anything, if you did like maybe a different point of view, like it would be almost funny if it's just like you see like a bystander who's like trying to accomplish things, but everything that they are doing in the film like ruins their plans. So like as
Oh,
they're
sure.
going along, like something is like further ruined. So they have to keep going. And then finally they're like, I need to talk to these people because I just need this
Sure.
one thing. But
That could be
yeah,
like
I would
a short story spin-off of like a
yeah, like
member
a
of the Brute
very
Squad.
like yeah, like give me like 30 minutes of like somebody who's trying to get in contact with like somebody and they just can't because those people keep messing it up along
Sure.
the way.
Sure, sure.
I don't know.
So
AJ, yeah.
I would go first off, yeah, don't touch it. But if we were gonna touch it, I would want to see some like maybe like a prequel, like a
Oh.
backstory of him as the Pirate Roberts, and
Oh,
on
okay,
the
like
ship
when he
like
gets
that.
captured.
Right. I want to know what happens during that time. Like make the whole movie about him learning to be the
I could be
pirate.
into that. Yeah.
You know what's interesting as I was watching this commentary is it's written in a way where, Fred Savage, the grandson, is like, Grandpa, like skip these parts. I skip the boring parts. I skip the mushy parts, right?
The kissing parts.
So, like, in theory, that part of the story is in the book, like, because it opens up with him on the farm with Buttercup, and then he takes off, like, gets kidnapped
Yeah,
or
like
whatever,
it's
right?
yeah, yeah.
He
So, like, if
leaves. He wants to find like work and find a way to provide, right?
right, right, right,
And then he gets kidnapped. They think he's dead.
yeah. So it is like in there, but to actually see it in a movie, like specifically that would be pretty interesting, and the dynamic that the Dread Pirate Roberts has of like kind of like handing over this legacy. You kind of get the history behind that and how Wesley gets it and so on and so forth. Yeah, no, leave it alone. I did like a few years ago where they did, I think it was during COVID even, they did like a Zoom like read along of the whole script and had different people play different parts.
Yeah, there was a bunch of that going on during COVID where you saw like certain episodes with like different actors and people
Hmm.
who had wanted to be on the like a guest star on the show and stuff. So I
Yeah.
I I think I did remember seeing something
That
with this.
that was that That was very cool. If there had to be a sequel, I did have an idea though, where kind of like you're talking about change perspective, but it is a sequel. We now follow Humperdinck in his phase of life in the pain where he's just like they mutilate him and he's all fucked up. So we
Mhm.
see him like getting laughed at or stared at or all this,
Yeah.
and he retreats into the forest swamp, lives there, becomes king of the rodents of unusual size to then get his revenge on Wesley and Buttercup. And it's like his voyage of building back up. But that's, if you had to make something, we'd do that. Okay. The Whip Whitaker from Flight, No Fly Zone. What hasn't aged well? Could you guys find anything?
Not really. I'm trying to like
I didn't find anything. I
I don't
I
think
honestly think it's perfect. Like
Yeah.
it's even the stuff that is supposed to be kind of like edgy, it's done in a funny, like classy way. Like
like
it
doesn't cross the line really.
right. Nothing crosses the line. It's still a story
Yeah.
being told to a like 8, 9-year-old little boy, right? So nothing really
And a lot
is
of the jokes aren't even necessarily at anyone's expense or any kind of person's expense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just very witty writing by William Goldman. Like it's not necessarily targeting a specific person. I think if anything, what hasn't aged well, unfortunately, is the use of practical effects and practical sets. What I mean by that is like it looks great. I wish we continued to do that. But if this movie was made now, there'd be so much CGI, especially with it being like a fantasy movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
especially with the rodents.
with the rodents, like instead of having like little people as these rodents, they even mentioned like there was these two little people that were in the costumes, and one of them would like move a really particular way that was good, and one would like scurry really fast, and they needed the scurrying guy for one of the scenes, but he ended up getting arrested, so they they had to like bail him out of jail to get him to come do the same. Really interesting stuff. Why I love physical media, because you get these
Mhm.
kind of like bonus content that you can learn more
Well,
about the
it's
film.
more fun. Like,
For
it's
sure.
way more fun to see that not only does it look better on camera, but it's also like everybody who's on the project, like, wants you to feel immersed in whatever land that you're in, it just
Right.
like, even with, like, the Ewoks, right? It makes Endor feel that much more like,
Lived
"Oh,
in.
shoot, like, these creatures could totally be living here on another planet," and
Hmm.
I don't know. I do wish we saw a little bit more practical.
And not just that, like when you get to the cliffs of insanity, where actual cliffs, like I think they're called the more
Cliffs of Moher.
cliffs of Moher, in England, and they actually went there and
Um,
filmed that.
Ireland.
Ireland. What did I say? England, Ireland. Sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect your culture there, Erica. Ireland. Uh, at as
How
Erica
perfect.
raises her sweater that says Ireland. Um, but yeah, like even that scene where they're climbing the rope, it's so fascinating because they got stunt people to do this, and they put like a stunt man in Andre the Giant's costume, and then Buttercup, Inigo, and Vicini are all just like dummies. And like once you know that and you watch that scene,
It's
you can
funnier,
totally it's yes,
but
it's
it
funnier, but you can totally tell.
yeah. No,
But
I
but I'm not mad at it.
but I think that adds to, like, how funny this film is, you
Sure.
know what I mean? Like, how like, we already had talked about, like, how really witty and how good the writing is, the one-liners, but then having something so simple it reminds me of, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where they have the coconuts for the horses. It's such a small, stupid detail, but it makes it 10 times funnier, and I think that with
Yeah,
those
yeah.
little tidbits that we find out about this movie, it makes the movie that much better.
For sure. I mean, it shows the heart in the movie, to say the
Yeah.
least. To say the least. Next category, the M Night Shyamalan twist ending. Is there an ending again? Like this movie is perfect. I think before this current viewing, I had it 4.5 stars, but with the commentary and watching it and like the cultural impact it has, I have it as a 5-star movie. It's perfect. Um, but I think if we could do a twist ending, something I thought would be really cool is at the end, Grandpa, played by Peter Falk, is wrapping up the book, and Fred Savage as the grandson is like, Grandpa, can you come over tomorrow and read it again for me? And the real, maybe it'll be a gut punch moment, but when he turns and he says, as you wish, which we know is like, I love you now at this point, and then he leaves and the movie ends. I think what would be cool is he does all that, and then as he leaves, instead of wearing his jacket, he has it in his hand still. And in his back pocket, you see the man in black's mask, like Wesley's black mask, coming out of his pocket. So now Fred Savage's grandson is like, wait, is Grandpa, is this about
Wesley?
Grandpa? You know what I mean? Yeah, is this about him this whole time? And it just adds a little extra layer of like imagination and whatever. You guys have anything, or are we
I
good
like
with that?
that.
Yeah.
I that would I don't know if it's necessarily a twist. I think it would be, like, just a little bit more of, like, a
Cherry on top.
gentle ending, yeah.
Well,
I
I
don't know.
think also us as the audience, because we totally are bought into this fantasy, can think like, wait, is this story about this old man that's reading
Yeah.
it? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
that'd be
that's how I
cool.
interpreted. That's how I interpreted my twist. Okay. Next category: No Country for Cold Takes. Hot takes. You got any hot takes about this movie? What do we got?
Don't. I mean, I think everybody loves it, and so there's nothing wrong with it. It's not a
Okay,
hot take to be like, "This is one
this
of the best
could be a good hot take. I mean, like, okay, so the one I have is that this is the most balanced and timeless movie of the 80s that can appeal to all demographics, age, sex, genre. Like, this is the best movie of the 80s for everyone. I
I
can
don't
make it
think that's
hotter.
a hot
If
take.
that's not a hot take, then I'll say of all time. This is the most.
That'll be a hot take, yeah.
This is the most accessible, welcoming. Everyone and anyone could watch this movie of all time. How about that? Is that hotter?
That's a better hard take, yeah. Because of the 80s, that's not very hard.
There's some good ones. I mean, there's some classic 80s movies, but
Not like
Correct.
this.
I
I
guess
was
my
looking.
hot take is, like, this isn't, like, one of my top 10 favorite movies, but I think that goes with more of, like, remember how I was mentioning in the last pod, how it wasn't really, I don't wanna say it wasn't a staple, but it wasn't something that was
right.
always on in the background versus, like, other movies would make my top 10 movies before this one did. And it's
Interesting.
not more of just, like, because of how much I like the movie, it's more of just, like, then like, my top 10, it's, like, nostalgia, is it a good movie? Like, there's a bunch of stuff that goes into
Shrek
it.
2, Shrek 3, no,
Any
and
single
Jurassic Park.
Shrek person knows. Anywho, it's been 0 days since
Yeah.
Michael
Oh,
mentioned
sorry, that
Shrek.
was my fault. Oh, yeah, you set me up for that
But
trap.
yeah, I think that would be my hot take, 'cause it's not one of my favorite movies, but I do enjoy it every time it comes on. Um,
Mm.
it's not one of those, like, stop and put on movies for me. Maybe that's my hot take, 'cause, like, if it's on the TV and there's something else I like better, I will change it.
That's good. I like that. It's like a plan C. Like you go around the channels
Yeah.
and like see
But
what
I
else
think
is
that
on.
also goes to, like, my preference too, 'cause, like, if you have Princess Bride on one channel, and then on the very next channel, there's, like, V for Vendetta or Cabin in the Woods, I'm gonna pick V for
Mm,
Vendetta or Cabin in the Woods.
mm.
But I think that's more of just, like, the movies that I've grown over the years watching, what
I'm
I love more.
I wonder, and not to generalize, but I'm curious if it is kind of generational because we often comment like you're like a half
I'm
generation
Yeah. Well, because 'cause I'm,
removed
like,
from
a millennial, but I'm, like, a baby millennial, like, I'm at the very
right.
end of
We're the elder
millennials.
millennials, so
Yeah.
the fantasy of like 80s sensibilities, I think resonate maybe more for the elder millennial than like for
Well, like I'm
yourself,
saying though,
maybe.
like, uh it was something that you guys, like, would have been watching more than I did.
Sure.
'Cause, like,
Yeah.
Star Wars was very much a staple in our household, like, if it came on, like, my mom would always keep
Mm,
it on kinda thing.
mhm, mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know, I think it's
Fair
just the
enough.
amount of times cause this time that I watched it, maybe the 3rd or 4th time I've watched
Oh
it,
wow.
like, in my whole
Okay.
life,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's other movies where I can recite
Sure.
from the front to the back, you
Sure.
know? So,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
Uh the Winona Riders, I'm stealing this. Best prop clothing to take. Adrian, you kick us off with this one. What would you take from this
I
set?
have I'm torn between two options.
Okay.
So the sword that Inigo
Yep.
Montoya's dad makes,
Yep.
that sword would go nice on a wall back here. Um, or the six-fingered glove.
I love you, Adrian. I have both of those things too. The six-fingered glove or the sword, for sure. Erica, what did you
This is
yeah.
just very specific because I'm Sicilian, but
Okay.
when he tells him that you fell for one of the classic blunders. The first one, the most famous being never get involved in a land war in Asia. Like, so great, right? But then he says, but only slightly less well known. I have it written down. Never go against the Sicilian when death is
And
on
death
the
is on the
line.
line.
But the chalices are super cool that they're
Yeah,
drinking out.
that's good. The
So I
chalices
would
that they
probably
drink.
pick the chalices, that
That's
they drink.
such a classic scene as well, because it's the whole like switcheroo and which one is it, you know?
Yeah.
Hey,
And the
what's that over there?
you've all pulled that trick. But Wallace Shawn, the actor, was very self-conscious about his performance and thought like I'm gonna ruin the movie. And like even with the cliffs of insanity, like he had a fear of heights, and Andre the Giant like would pet him like a baby and be like, I'll take care of you, you know, and after that he was calm. But in that scene with the chalices, he like panicked, is like, I'm gonna ruin the movie. And now that's probably like one of, if not the most classic scenes
Yeah.
out of this whole movie. So yeah, I also had the sword and the six-fingered glove. I thought maybe also like one of the rodents of unusual size, like that costume, would be pretty gnarly to have. I don't know. Again, where does it go? I don't know, but it'd be a hell of a Halloween costume.
That's like me saying one of the Ninja Turtle heads from.
Yeah, and that'd be great too.
Mhm.
That'd be great too.
I even thought maybe Andre the Giant's like shirt, just to like
for like
be
a
able to,
blanket or
Oh,
what?
and like hang
yeah,
it up.
like
That
put it
would
on the
be
wall
fun.
and be like, look at the difference, you know?
For sure. Or like even the whole outfit, like to put that like on a
Yeah.
tall
I feel
wall.
like any of the costumes too would just be so fun to like
Yeah.
have. You know, that's such an iconic Halloween costume every year anyway. So
The Dread Pirate Roberts mask, like, I mean, would be pretty iconic as well. So there's a
yeah.
lot of, I mean,
You
there's
can
so
make
many
your
things.
own, Michael.
I feel
I
like
know,
you
it's not
wouldn't be
too
able to
hard,
tell
huh?
the difference if it was the Dread Pirate Roberts mask or like Zorro. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
Zorro doesn't have the top.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean? Like
just
Zorro
I
is
mean,
just.
hard.
it depends on what Zorro you're watching, because
Okay, fair
Antonio
enough.
Banderas had the whole top.
That's fair. That's fair. One of these days, we're gonna have to watch Zorro the Gay Blade because that's the fucking best Zorro. I'm telling you right now. All right, let's go to the next category. Castaway recasting. Who would you cast in this role? Like, honestly, nobody. Right? Like, I think this is
Let's just skip it.
maybe this is a hot take as well, that this is the best cast movie of all time. Maybe for the sake of this exercise, I picked out someone who does a fine job. But if I were to pick someone, the character's name is Yellen, and he's played by Malcolm Story. So this is Humperdinck's leader of like the spy network, the one he tells like what is it, the false attack on Gilder or whatever. So this guy's got like the gnarly mustache that turns into his sideburns, whatever. I thought instead of Malcolm Story, what if we had our boy Daniel Stern from Home Alone, right? Like have him play that. I think his comedic sensibilities and kind
He's
of
goofy enough to
goofy
do it. Yeah.
because that character's a little goofy, you know,
Yeah.
he's a little goofy. And then, you know, what is it, 4 years later, he'd end up be reunited with Billy Crystal and City Slickers. So
Yeah.
like I think he'd fit this kind of genre.
If we were to recast,
If for the sake of the exercise, yes.
he'd do amazing.
Okay, that takes us to our last category, the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito twins double feature recommendation. What are some double feature recommendations we can suggest?
I feel like we're gonna have the same.
Probably.
Yeah.
we're on the same page with this movie.
You two will, and probably not me.
Well, Erica, you kick us off. What would you recommend
Okay.
for double?
Well, because I kind of think I know where you guys are headed, and I think for me, I want to. I don't know if Adrian, you've probably seen this movie. I'm not so sure about Michael. But a great fairy tale movie that was adapted into like live action. It was a good combo for the time that it came out. Amy Adams, Patrick Dempsey. I'm gonna go with Enchanted, and the only reason I say that is because I don't want to say that it's on the same level as Princess Bride, because like we said, it's like an untouchable movie. There's nothing that's really gonna top it, I don't think, ever. But as far as like the fairy tale stories mashed into one, the musical numbers that they had in Enchanted, the adult humor combined with the child humor, I think this would be like a really good transition into like seeing kind of how those stories in a live action setting have kind of evolved from then.
Enchanted is the one with Marsden, right?
No. Oh, yeah. He's unfortunately,
One
yeah,
of the
he's in
princes
it.
or something?
He's the
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
prince.
he's one of the princes.
He's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
prince.
yeah.
He's not
Okay,
in
yeah,
it
I see.
for like a long,
So,
like he's got little snippets. It's typically Amy Adams' story, but yeah,
If you're new to seeing this, again, welcome. And if you're not new to seeing this, you know Erica's got some beef with our boy Marsden Cyclops
yeah,
over here. Adrian, what would you pair?
rightfully so.
What would you pair, Adrian?
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That's the right answer. Like it's just Mel
It fits.
Brooks. I mean, Rob Reiner historically has been a fan of Mel Brooks. So I'm sure Mel Brooks as a whole has inspired Rob's work. But then in turn, Robin Hood Men in Tights comes out in the 90s. Clearly is pulling a lot from The Princess Bride. Like when she jumps from the horse, right? And Robin and Men in Tights, the horse like thinks it's crazy or what, and takes off. Just so many elements that are clearly pairs well with that. And do you have another one or just that one?
No, just that one. Like,
Okay,
watch them both.
Yeah, the only other one I thought, like, so if you want to go more comedic route, Robin Hood Men in Tights, and then if you want to stick in the 80s fantasy, I thought The Labyrinth, because it does have kind of the practical dynamics of
You'll
filmmaking.
just have two very different experiences.
Sure,
watching.
it's very different. It's like, yeah, it's
Because
very
I don't
different.
even put The Labyrinth even close to this movie as far as like how good it is.
Well, we
it's
covered
closer to like Little Monsters.
we covered The Labyrinth as well. If you guys haven't seen that episode, and if you want our full thoughts, but no time for that. Let's move on to our awards for The Princess Bride. Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman, big mistake, huge. The biggest nitpick in this movie. Did you guys catch any nitpicks, anything that rubbed you the wrong way? I know a lot, like, there's a podcast, so we can't just say, like, oh, it's a perfect movie. Next.
I
But
had one.
okay, I love it. Let's hear it.
So when they're in the forest and Princess Buttercup falls into the quicksand, he like cuts a vine and then like just starts like pulling them off. He has the one that's attached, and so he like just jumps in, doesn't tie it to anything. He just jumps in, and how's he grab her with, like
Sure.
he's holding the rope, like.
The logistics
How
of
do you do
that
that?
whole rescue is a little questionable.
Yeah.
Credit to Carrie Ells, who apparently insisted on doing that stunt himself. And it was like really tricky because like once you're down there, there's like a little area where you have to place your head in order to not like get submerged by the sand. But kudos to him to pull it off. And yeah, like if you're pulling, like how much slack is on that vine to even to be able to do it, and it's gonna hold, and yeah, that's fair. Mine was more of like an editing continuity error. I don't even want to call it an error. But when Andre the Giant as Fezzik goes to Inigos and he's all drunk, right? And he's splashing his head in the water to like sober him up and wake him up or whatever. When he's like, enough, his hair is wet on his face. It'll cut back to Andre the Giant, then it cuts back to Mandy, and his hair is in completely different places. Like it's right. And in the commentary, Billy Crystal is talking during that part, and he talks about like watch, like he calls it out that there's this continuity error, but he says because Rob prefers cuts on performance versus like continuity, right?
Yeah.
And he calls people that calls out those continuities like little dorks, or he calls them something on the comment. Billy Crystal's great. But that's more like, I'm not mad at that. I think the Vine one, we can give it
I'm
to the
gonna
Vine.
agree with Adrian only because I've seen so many videos and I know how to get out of quicksand. So yes, like
There
it
it is.
bothers me
You
when they're
would.
doing crap.
On brand.
But you want to know what's really funny that you say about like editing errors is one of Rob Reiner's biggest pet peeves about this movie in particular
Oh,
is when Princess Buttercup, she's on the horse and she goes over the bridge and you can see
I think it's
the
like across the field. It's like across the field or something in front of the castle, right? I think.
well, over the bridge, like I just said. Jesus Christ, Michael.
Go ahead.
She's going over the bridge, and as she's doing it, he's like, yeah, as she's going over the bridge, you see like the camera, like the glare of the camera. And he's like, it pisses me off because it takes you out of the story. You know, it's a film. He just kind of like goes after it, which is like so funny. But I'm with Adrian, dude. That quicksand made me so annoyed.
I'm going to edit in that scene that you're referring to, and I really hope there's not a bridge. But you're probably right.
No,
You're probably right.
it's because I just watch because every time we
Okay.
do this, right, we'll watch the movie and then all of a sudden I get like the clips, the behind the scenes. And, like when we were talking about Frankenstein, all of a sudden like young Frankenstein was literally freaking everywhere. So I literally just saw it and he's like, yeah, she's on her freaking horse, she's going over the bridge, and then I'm pissed off because you
Yeah.
just see the light coming across, and he's like, then you like know it's a film and it takes you out of the movie. But I'm
But
like,
that's
I
like
don't think it took
another
anybody out of the movie, buddy.
no. And that's like another like charm of the movie. Like sometimes when lens flare hits, it's like JJ Abrams has got a big, stigma about it now because he uses that as like a creative choice, you know what I mean, to have that
Yeah.
lens flare in certain scenes. Yeah, so we'll go quicksand, the Vine and quicksand for biggest nitpick. Next award, Adrian's favorite, the John Leguizamo. This movie needs a Latin award, a Latin actor to add to this movie as a brand new character. Now, if you guys don't have anyone in mind, I came up with two older Latin actresses that would play essentially Inigo's mother. Because we get like it's all about his father, right? Like his father was killed, but we never hear anything about his mom. And I thought maybe as like a painting, since they don't have pictures back then, like a painting of her, and it just referenced. And sometimes when he's talking, he's like talking to her.
Hmm.
So I thought of two people that could play this role. The first one is an actress named Katie Jurado. I feel like her look, apparently she's done a lot of Westerns and was even nominated for an Oscar, as you can see here, the first Latin American actress nominated for an Oscar. I think like just having a mural of her in the background where he's like talking to her and looking to her as like a sense of support would be pretty
Yeah.
interesting. And if not her, there's another actress that maybe looks even more like him, and that's Maria Felix. She was a songwriter, a singer, and a Mexican actress, and they're around the same age. I'm just thinking who has more of the Montoya look, Maria Felix or Katie Jurado? Any thoughts?
Felix.
The Felix, Maria
Yeah,
Felix.
she's born, birthed, and died on her birthday in April.
Good call, April 8th.
Yeah.
Good call. Okay, well, we'll go Maria Felix for that's pretty crazy to die on your birthday.
Yeah.
Holy hell. Well, happy belated to her, and she's now officially in the scene this headcanon, the mother of an eagle.
I kind of like what you said about the mother, but I was also thinking if we had like either a Latin or Latin actress or actor who, as they're at like the wine sitting, like they have somebody who's like
Oh,
pouring the
pouring.
wine for them, but like they kind of get stuck in this like, wait, I don't even remember which one was
Sure.
poison. So they're like going just like for like a comedic effect, like, oh no, but like having that character kind of in different scenarios of where they're like, they don't know whose side to take in like each
Sure.
scenario. Like, I think that would be really funny. I
That's
just couldn't
interesting.
really think of like who in that time who wouldn't be like too serious, but who wouldn't also be too like too charactery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even though all of these people in the movie are very like to their character, I don't think they're very charactery, if that makes sense.
I mean,
It's like,
what
you
would
know, when you
It,
have,
it doesn't make sense to me, but I wouldn't
so
say yeah.
like, hold on, let me think, right? Um, so like for me, if you were to have, you couldn't have a Matthew Lillard in a movie like this. He's too charactery.
I got it.
But you could have like you also couldn't have like a Robert De Niro because he's too serious. So like I'm trying to think of somebody in the
I got you.
middle. Okay.
We've used them before, but he can be used all the time. Luis Guzman. Like Luis Guzman is a good
He's
like
so funny.
comedic energy that like is just like we see that in Boogie Nights when he finally gets his role as like the bartender in one of the porno movies, and
Yeah.
he's got that kind of like
I know what I
confused
mean.
look. Yeah, I like that. Okay, well, since we'll have
Either way,
Luis
I liked yours as well. Either way, I'm good.
in honor of respect to older classic Hollywood Latin actresses. We'll go with the Mexicana Maria Felix as Anita's mother. Next award, the Samwise Gamgee Most Underrated Character Award. I have 3 nominees here, but I'd love to hear
What are
you
your
guys.
nominees?
Okay, so I'll open up. Um, So it's interesting. I think it's 3 because I don't know if you would consider it underrated or not. But the first person I have is Miracle Max, played by Billy Crystal.
Mhm.
Okay.
He's shooting an incredible shooting percentage here where he's like got 15 minutes of screen time, but he's gone 10 for 10 with like 25 points. You know what I mean? Like his whole bit where he's Miracle Max and they bring in Wesley like almost dead, you know?
Yeah.
Apparently when they were shooting that scene, Rob Reiner had to leave the set because he would just crack up and break because Billy Crystal was doing so many ad libs during this. And even Carrie Ells, like apparently like hurt his stomach or ribs by trying to hold still and not laugh. Billy Crystal. But what he does incredible work and boosts so much energy when Miracle Max comes onto the scene. So that's my first nominee. Then I have the clergyman played by Peter Cook, who does the marriage.
Yeah.
Marriage is what brings us together. Like he's also on the court for like 5 minutes and puts up 12
Mhm.
points. You know what I mean? Like perfect shooting percentage, classic line delivery. And then lastly, I just have Count Rugen. So this is the six-fingered man. Now, the reason I say he's underrated is because he's a big um antagonist from Inigo's point of view, right? Like he's the one that
Mhm.
is kind of being pursued this whole time. And I didn't realize until I mentioned earlier this year, I went down to Christopher Guest movies with like For Your Consideration, Best in Show. And the fact that this is the same guy, he
Isn't that
fucking
crazy?
crushes it in this movie. Like
He has night mode.
he has such mad respect for the amount of screen time he has and how consistent he is. Like he's like this movie's got a lot going on, but he's so like deadpan, serious, locked in the way this character probably should be.
Mhm.
That I wanted to throw his name in for underrated.
I
I
like
agree.
Billy Crystal. I had Miracle Max also.
Okay.
But on the other side, I had Mel Smith, the albino. Like
Sure.
just so funny. I wanted a little bit more. But yeah, I had Miracle Max, definitely most
Very
underrated
on
character.
brand, Adrian.
Yeah. No, Brino's funny. He's like it's and that's like a throwback to like Young Frankenstein. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like it's a similar kind of energy of that like master, but he's sorry.
But no, I was just watching a blooper of Young Frankenstein where he's like, he all he does is make a noise, and Gene Wilder's like, like
Yeah,
just starts laughing.
it's too good. I think it's either Christopher Guest or Miracle Max. I want to lean Christopher Guest just because I think Miracle Max, it's Billy Crystal and Miracle Max like is
Yeah,
legendary. Like he gets the credit, I think. Even though it was a short period of time.
he definitely gets the credit for it.
But
Yeah.
like again, the fact that I've watched this movie so many times and it never clicked that this is Christopher Guest, and after watching, like I said, his films and him act in his films and
Mhm.
then do this, I think we got to give it to him. So congratulations, Christopher Guest as Count Rugen. The daughter in Hereditary oh shit moment. What is the oh shit moment in The Princess
As
Bride?
you wish.
Going down the because it's like revealed that it's Wesley. Like
Yeah,
but
that
we
is
know,
Wesley.
right?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, yeah.
Like from the
But
jump we know
that's the oh shit moment for the movie. Like she
for her.
realizes like this is my true love.
And
Yeah.
then she goes
Yeah.
to
And then she
tumble
jumps
into
in.
yeah, no, that's fair. Okay. Erica, you have a
I
nomination?
like that one. I think just like the Cliffs of Moher, just like a personal thing. It's like, oh shit, like they're on the side of the Cliffs of Moher right now.
There they are. Yeah, oh
I've
shit.
been there. Like that's scary. um, but yeah, I think I agree with Adrian because you're like, oh shit, she's gonna find out now. Like, here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me throw one out at you, and it's towards the end, and this is where Inigo is chasing our boy Count Rugen, and kind of abruptly he faces him and he gets a fucking knife thrown at him and like fucking hits him, right? And like I imagine the first time watching that, it's kind of out of the blue. Like you don't expect like that to happen. You think he's finally gonna get him cornered and the battle's gonna happen. But when that
Mhm.
knife comes, it's like, oh shit. And then he stabs him again in the shoulders. But I like yours. It comes in sooner, and it's funny. It's funny. Okay, so the oh shit moment goes to Princess Buttercup realizing Wesley is Wesley. Wonderful. The Rocky Balboa Gut Punch Award, the most emotional scene.
Is probably Inigo Montoya getting stabbed and then like rising up to still come and like no, like, and then reciting his whole "I am Inigo Montoya. You killed my father" and
Prepared
all
to
that
die.
jazz. Yeah,
For sure. And I think just a little tail end of that is when the count is begging for mercy. What do you want? I'll give you that and more. And he says, I want my father back, you son of a bitch. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I can feel it right now. Like, it's so fucking good. Like, Mandy just delivers that line with such conviction. So I think that's the emotional gut punch.
for sure.
Erica, we on board?
I'll agree, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, there's like other like speeches that like I really like, but I think like as far as like a whole scene, yeah, I'll agree with
Yeah.
you guys for sure.
The Coleman Domingo Best Dressed Award. Who is the best dressed character in this movie?
It's so hard because I love a costume.
There's a lot. There's a lot of costumes there.
Because like so it's like fun seeing like Wesley in the pirate costume. It's fun seeing, her in her iconic red dress that everybody's, and like everybody's costume is always like
I
so
think
fun.
I think since we gave the one to Christopher Guest, I think this has to go to Billy Crystal Miracle Max. Like that
Interesting.
costume, that whole like that is perfect. Like you almost don't recognize that it's Billy Crystal. You almost just recognize it because of the voice.
So I would agree if we're talking prosthetics. Like the costume itself is just kind of like a brown thing,
Right.
but
Like a
prosthetics
monk,
wise, like it took me years later to realize that it was in fact
Billy
Billy
Crystal.
Crystal. And
Yeah.
and again in the commentary, I'm going to be a broken record with that. But Billy Crystal talks about like he wanted it to be influenced by like his grandmother. And like so part of the inspiration behind the look is like this droopy face of his grandmother.
So fucked up.
So prosthetics wise, for sure. If we're talking costume, there's two that come to mind. I think Buttercup is going to win because she has multiple. She has the red dress, she has the blue dress inside the castle, and then even like her farm
Yeah,
outfit
her like attire, yeah.
is pretty good. I do like Vicini's outfit with his little like puffed up
The
shoulder
fluffs.
Okay.
and it's pretty elaborate, the design.
Yeah.
So those would be my two, either Buttercup or Vicini.
I'm gonna go with Princess Buttercup.
Buttercup, yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, when they both come on screen, Carrie Ells and Robin Wright, what maybe the most beautiful white, blonde, blue-eyed people of all time. Like Robin Wright is incredibly beautiful.
Yikes,
Carrie
that's a
Ells is incredibly
statement.
handsome. Is that my hot take?
That's a hot take.
I mean, listen, folks in the comments, who's the most beautiful white blonde haired blue eyed person out there? I think the
Margot
two of them
Robbie.
I'd go Robin Wright if you're talking from a female perspective, 100%. But I mean, listen, everyone's beautiful. I'm just saying,
That's
Robin Wright as
crazy.
Buttercup in her costumes nails it the whole time, so she'll win the best dress. Coleman to being the best dressed award. Let us know who's a hotter white couple in a movie. The new director who this award, a director whose version we'd like to see. Absolutely not. I'm shutting down this award for this movie. Rob Reiner is absolutely brilliant and the only
What?
person. Would you like to
How about
nominate? So, go ahead.
what if we did who would direct whatever like sequel or prequel we
Sure.
chose?
Okay, sure.
Let's
Mel
pick
Brooks.
that for that. We'll
Well,
keep
he
him as
kind of does that already. We get that in Robin Hood Men in Tights. But yeah,
yeah,
go ahead, Sarah.
we'll keep him for the director of this movie, and then what did we end up going with? Did we pick one or did we all just like
For the sequel?
say our own ideas for the prequel or sequel
Well,
or
yeah,
what?
that one is just multiple ones we
It's
can
more of
mention.
like
So.
multiples. So like any of our films, who would we like to see direct that?
So if I were to go with the dark Humperdinck has been mutilated and lives in the swamp river or fire swamp. I mean, just to go with your boy Guillermo del Toro with kind of like the look and feel, like he can. I don't know if he would be the writer as far as like. I think it does need to be a bit more comedic. His movies aren't really funny, but just the aesthetics of his set design, production design, costume design, I think can kind of go with a story like that. Who do you have in mind?
And only because he's done some of my my favorite British films, like, comedy-wise, I think I'd wanna lean towards, like, an Edgar Wright
Oh, sure.
version
Yeah.
of this. I think it'd be pretty funny, but it'd be different, definitely, like, definitely a different type of humor, but
He's done all
it's
like the Shaun of the Dead
can't really, like,
movies.
remake the same kind of movie like this. I mean, we've already
I,
kinda talked about it, but
if we're talking about a sequel, I'm with Edgar Wright because he,
Edgar Wright, I think,
again,
would be really fun.
I like the comedic aspect, I think is strong there while still
Yeah.
being, he hasn't necessarily done fantasy, but he's done like horror comedy with the Shaun of the Dead
Mhm.
movies. So that could work. Adrian, anyone else you want to nominate, or we good with
I would
Edgar
just
Wright?
go Mel Brooks, but I like that.
Yeah,
Even if he was doing like my backstory for the Dread
sure.
Pirate
Yeah,
Roberts, like I think he'd be good for that
Yeah.
too.
for
Yeah.
sure. For sure. Edgar Wright, congratulations. You got a new job. And the Oscar goes to, if we could give I have a lot of nominees. If we could give an Oscar, just one Oscar to this movie, who would get it?
I want to give it to Wallace Shawn,
Wallace
Vicini.
Shawn, Best Supporting Actor.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay.
I think
Okay.
he killed it, and like that. I
Yeah.
know he's only in that scene, but that scene was pretty complex and hard. Like the dialogue, the like
To
that's
deliver it like
impressive.
that. Well, I
And
mean,
how fast he goes, like his tempo, like
Mhm.
it's on
100%.
point.
And they make such a great trio. That's another note I took, is like that trio, Andre the
Yeah.
Giant, Mandy, and Wallace Shawn, like they're so memorable. And they're only, the three of them together are only in the first, what, like 25 minutes, maybe?
Maybe?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we lose Wallace Shawn as Vicini.
Yeah.
That's fair. Erica, who would you like to nominate?
Um, I was either thinking, like, costume or set design because,
Uh-huh.
we love a practical set on this podcast, like, we're always gonna praise that. We love good costumes, they were fun, even though some of them were, like, I don't know, like you said, maybe just, like, a brown tunic, like, it definitely
Still
added
fits.
more to the character. Um, this could be even one of those movies that gets, like, an honorary Oscar, like, later in, like, I don't know, what year is this again? 40, 40?
39.
40.
39?
You're
So, like
39 here.
So, like, 50, so, like, when it gets to, like, a 50, like, giving an honorary
Oh,
Oscar
I
or
understand.
something like that. Yeah, sorry, I
I
didn't
thought
really
like
s
Academy Award when it came out. Oh,
No, no,
like the
no, I meant
anniversary.
more
Got
of,
it.
like, it got an honorary Oscar, like, during
Like
its
a lifetime
50th.
50th
achievement award
year,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Honestly,
because, like, it's not only just, like, an amazing movie, it's influenced countless of films, whether that's the style, whether that is the practical sets, the costume, the
for
way the
sure.
acting is, a all of that. I mean, you see a lot of that taken away in other films for sure.
Part of the
So it
bone.
could
Oh,
almost get
god.
casting too. Like
Sure.
we said,
Yeah,
it
costume
had
would
the
be
best cast, so
That's
it
good.
could have gone to casting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
yeah.
that's a category now, at least. It's interesting, again, on the bonus content of The Princess Bride on the Criterion disc. There's an interview where Rob Reiner is talking with Carrie Ells and Robin Wright, and it's the 25th anniversary. And they're talking about, different moments and memories, whatever. But at the end, Rob Reiner says, "All right, let's bring it in." And the three of them put their hands on and they're like, "All right, in 25 more years, we'll do the 50th." And it's so sad because we're not going to get Rob for that, since we're at the 39th now. And as we know, he tragically passed. But nonetheless, this movie could win tons of different Oscars. Just to throw out some that I had Mandy Patinkin, who played Inigo. Why can I not say his name? Inigo.
Inigo.
Inigo. Inigo Montoya. Billy Crystal actually said it also on the tape, on the whatever commentary. that he thought Mandy should have at least been nominated for an Oscar. Like what he does with that role is incredible. And as the movie goes on, it just gets better and better. So I had Mandy, I had costumes also, I had production design also. Music, the composer was Mark Knopfler. Hope I said his name right. But the music in this is pretty memorable, like that real storybook kind of acoustic Renaissance fair guitar is really good. Robin Wright was fantastic. She could get it. Carrie Ells. And then Christopher Guest, because we talked about his performance. And ultimately, director Rob Reiner. So I think there could have been a lot. Damn. I kind of want to lean towards Adrian's just because when you like the first character you go to when you think of the Princess Bride is probably inconceivable, and he's got that like little lisp that's like part of
You want me
his.
to do it?
Let's hear it.
Hold on. Because he's not it's here. His lisp is inconceivable, but that's too much.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
Right.
It's like so slight, but he just
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
good.
like a like from the
It's
back of your
here.
jaw, like
Yeah, it's like
where your wisdom teeth are
I
supposed to
can't even
be.
do it. Yeah. No, we'll give. I mean, listen, Rob Reiner, you get an honorary MOMAC award from us for your work on this film and all the films that you've done. But for our Oscar goes to, let's give it a Sean Wallace or Wallace Shawn.
Wallace Shawn.
Yeah. But I think also on top of it, because he was so insecure about his performance, like this is just a testament that he fucking knocked it out of the park.
yeah,
It's
which
great.
I'm so glad. Like I don't know what his qualms were like in general. Like, because you never really know. Like they'll tell you one thing, but you don't really know what they've got going on in the back of the head. I just
Right.
hope that he's come to appreciate it over the years because, like you said, you steal the show sometimes.
100%. And the fact that like he's the Sicilian but talks in a straight American accent,
It's so funny.
like that
It's so funny.
and it never like I never caught that. Like that never
No.
bothered me. It never bothered
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's go with
That
him.
is true. You should never challenge a Sicilian when there's death on the line, dude.
Erica will tell you. So at this point we usually have
Mom will tell you.
Sure. At this point, we usually have IMDb trivia, but I want to do it a little different since I did have the commentary playing for this movie. So I took some notes straight from the creatives' mouths themselves that I'll go over. Check out IMDb trivia still. If for you listening at home, I'm sure there's tons of gems and maybe some overlap from what I'm about to say, but this is coming directly from the commentary, which included Rob Reiner, producer Andrew Scheinman, writer William Goldman, Billy Crystal. Why can't I talk? Billy Crystal and Peter Falk. So at different points of the movie, they chime in. So just a few things. So this screenplay William had written back in 1973, and it had become like part of like a cult screenplay that many people had heard of and wanted to be a part on, because they had also read the novel that he had written. So think about it, 1973 to 1987, like that period of time is how long it took for them to actually
14 years.
get this movie made. Yeah.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, because of that, Christopher Reeves, Superman himself, was interested in playing Wesley. He wanted to get a role in the movie. But it sounds like Rob Reiner really knew who he wanted to cast from the jump, from the most
Thank
part.
God.
Like, he did some casting, and Robin Wright was like one of the last people of like 500 people that auditioned. But once they got to Robin Wright, it's like she's perfect. Peter Falk was one of the first to be cast as the grandfather. The stuntman I talked about on the Cliffs of Insanity, you can tell once you know that he's carrying dummies. It's so funny. Like once you see it, it's like, oh yeah, they're definitely dummies.
It almost reminds me. It's we talk about Scary Movie all the time on this podcast, but I don't know if it's Scary Movie 3 or 4,
They
but
throw the dummy down
the
the
little
stairs.
kid gets hit by a car and the dummy just but that's what I'm saying, like, it makes it so funny, like, and the fact that they're just probably, like, something like
Sure.
just hay or
Up
some
close.
anything, and then put on the dress and then toss him up, or
It definitely, like, you gotta know yourself as a movie and the tone in order to pull that
Yeah.
off, you know what I mean?
I've
For
seen the
sure.
Wayans brothers do that, like, even on, like, the Wayans brothers show.
Sure.
Like, they throw a dummy down the stairs and it's supposed to be Marlon, and Marlon pops up, like,
Right,
it's
right,
just
right, right.
so funny.
It's part of the gag.
Yeah.
So they almost didn't get Andre the Giant as he was wrestling in Japan when they're getting ready to go into production. But when he was in Paris, Rob Reiner went out to meet him at a bar in Paris. Andre went upstairs to do some line reading for the part, and he couldn't read English very well. Like, he had challenge with it. And he's like, here, just read these 5 lines, and just told him, kind of coached him on how to do it. And once he did that, he's like, all right, so we'll need you for 15 weeks in England to shoot this film. And Andre's like, just these 5 lines for 15 weeks, these 5 lines. He's like, no, 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 you're going to be in the whole, like, you're in the whole movie, but it's going to take 15 weeks.
Yeah.
But they ended up getting him, obviously, to join the film. And he had a really bad back, as I mentioned. So a lot of the physical elements, he had assistance on. Interestingly enough, Rob Reiner tells a story about when he went into this restaurant where the mob leader John Gotti would hang out, and he wanted to go to this restaurant just to check it out. And this one gangster guy comes up to Rob Reiner, looks him straight in the eye, and says, "You killed my father. Prepare to die." Right? And Rob Reiner at the time thought he was like dead serious and was like
Yeah.
terrified for his life. And then later he realized, like, that's just the cultural impact this
Mhm.
movie has had on people, right? To have that quoted to him by a mobster. Um, Rob thinks the opening
Probably
fencing
a Sicilian.
likely. Um, Rob says that the best fencing scene in any Hollywood film is in the Princess Bride, when Carrie and Mandy are doing that opening sword fight on the top of the hills.
Oh, there's something you don't know. I'm left-handed.
I'm left-handed too. But it's great. Like, if you watch it, there's a scene where, like, towards the end, where Carrie is fencing with his right hand, he does a spin, switches to his left hand, and then in mid stride, like, just tosses it to his right hand and keeps going. Super dope, super dope fighting technique that they had, that
The
they
only one
practiced
that
for
comes
weeks.
close nowadays is Lindsay Lohan versus Lindsay Lohan in The Parent Trap.
Next, Criterion Collection commentary fact.
All the
um
real ones, no.
they also did every second of the fencing was them. They didn't have stunt doubles. The only time they had stunt doubles was, like, for the flips or the acrobatic
Well, with
scene.
Lindsay Lohan, it was her twin.
Oh, clearly, clearly. Let's see.
Sorry.
The first
I
day of shooting the film was in the fire swamp when Buttercup gets her dress caught on fire, which apparently actually burned Robin Wright. But also, funny enough, the screenwriter, William Goldman, was on set that day, and he's obviously written the novel. He's written the screenplay, and the dress catches on fire in both of these. But on the day of the shoot, when it catches on fire, he yelled out, her dress is on fire. Like he's worried for her. And he had to, like, stay off set because he would like fuck up shots and would
You'd be
have to
like, "Oh,
reshoot.
wait, hold on. I
Yeah,
wrote
yeah.
that."
Yeah. And like, he seems to have a great sense of humor about it now and everything, but it's pretty funny. Let's see. The rats.
The
Rob
rodents
Reiner,
of unusual
the,
size.
the rodents of unusual size. Reiner would talk about how funny it would be that, like, there are these little British people inside of these suits, and when they would, like, ask for notes, like, "Oh, governor, should I scurry a bit faster here?" And he would, like, do, like, a British accent, but you picture this little person in the rat suit. And apparently the sounds that the rodents of unusual size make, Rob Reiner made those noises. Like, when it gets stabbed, it's like, "Oh," like,
Yeah.
that's all Rob
That's so
Reiner.
funny.
Apparently he injects himself into all of his movies one way or another. Um, let's see. I already said those ones. Da, 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 da. Oh, so after an early screening of the film, Rob Reiner, some of the crew, whatever, they went to dinner, and he saw Christopher Guest at this dinner. And he's like, that's really good of Christopher. Like, he came to this dinner after he came to the screening, he came to the dinner. He didn't have to. He totally forgot Christopher Guest was in the movie because he was so transformative. He just thought he came as like as a friend, and he's like, oh wait, no, he's in this movie, So again,
That's so funny.
a testament to how good he did. Just a little Easter egg. You can see Rob Reiner's cap from Spinal Tap hanging behind the grandson. In one of the scenes, I don't recall which scene it is particularly. And then lastly, again, it's unfortunate, obviously, the death of Rob Reiner and the circumstances. And unfortunately, that's something like you can't really not think about when thinking about Rob Reiner, but hopefully over time, it's just like a small footnote. But at the very end of the commentary, the ending credits come up, and Rob Reiner's talking about, his favorite film that he's made. And the comment he says is, you love all of your children equally. And then he goes on to say, like, but Princess Bride holds a warm place in my heart. And that's literally the last thing of the commentary in the movie's under. So pretty crazy. An incredible film, The Princess Bride. Top 10 for me and Adrian. It sounds like Erica. Top 20? Top 20. No?
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
want to say it's not like up there, but like if I'm going to give you my top 10 favorites, and like I said, I think it's just from lack of exposure to it as much as
Sure.
maybe you two probably saw it.
I just love a movie, like you said, that's a potent quotable. I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. It's just like random little things. You're on the Brute Squad. You are the Brute Squad. Just like so many great lines in this movie. So thanks to Rob Reiner, team, cast, crew for an incredible classic. And next year will be the 40th anniversary. So happy birthday treat to Adrian, early treat, celebrate the 39th anniversary of this movie. Make sure to follow us across all of our socials, websites for merch, interviews, and more episodes, including fresh movie reviews at seeingthispod.com. You can follow our socials on Seeing This Pod. Sign up for the newsletter at seeingthispod.com/subscribe, as we do provide you what episodes we're going to do, but sometimes they change. But nonetheless, we'll figure it out. Stay tuned. And until then, stay safe.
Peace.